But after they had sailed that course about half that day, they fell amongst dangerous shores and roaring breakers, and they were so far entangled there as they conceived themselves in great danger. William Bedford is writing a book called Plymouth Plantations. Puritans escaped from Europe, which was basically under the control of Catholics. William Bedford, the first governor of Plymouth, depicted the real lives of the first settlers. Many Puritans suffered from the beginning of the voyage. The storm was so strong that many ships were wrecked. Due to the natural disasters, voyages were often delayed and they arrived around winter time, so by the time they arrived, they had no shelter or food. However, settlers persevered to this hardship and secured their American dream. They are the foundations of the American dream because they were the first settlers to leave their homelands and the first settlers to search for religious freedom, which basically narrows down to how pre-Americans searched for prosperous lives.
Here it is. I'm observing two groups of ants, black ones and red ones. Black ones seems twice larger than the red ones. Walden is a collection of Henry David Thoreau. One of the collection, The Brute Neighbors, Thoreau observes red ants and black ants fighting. He metaphorically relates this fighting to human wars. He criticizes human wars were no more logical and sensible than those of insects fighting. One of the human wars, the American Revolution, was a fight for independence and separation from the corrupted parliament. Yet, Thoreau criticizes the American Revolution that people only sought for their individual prosperity and right. People no longer sought prosperity under equality and were just mindless creatures thinking of their own rights and prosperity. Therefore, Thoreau metaphorically relates ants fighting and humans war in order to criticize the cons of American dream. Thoreau emphasizes the first Puritan idea of American dream was fading away.
The voice of the sea is seductive, never ceasing, whispering, clamoring, murmuring, inviting my soul to wander in abysses of solitude. During the 1950s, many Americans strove for their individuality. They wanted to break away from the social norms and away from the suburban lifestyles. And many succeeded, because freedom was more obtainable for the sexes. Unfortunately, in The Awakening, which takes place in the late 1800s, the main character, Edna Pontellier, is stuck in a world where men are dominant. They are the sheepdogs, while women are the sheep, providing underwear for their children in the winter. Edna wants her freedom. She wants to break away from her minuscule copycat lifestyle. She wants a chance to fall in love and chase her dreams. However, she comes to grip with reality and finds no way out, except to submerge herself in the sea and let the salt water carry her into the abysses of heaven.
J. Gatsby, the son of poor farmers, became a millionaire in order to bring back his love Daisy. Gatsby and Daisy believe that achieving the American dream by equal opportunity is impossible to achieve. Gatsby illegally sells bows to get money, abusing the equal opportunity, and Daisy marries a man she does not love for the sake of money, abusing the pursuit of individual happiness. Daisy's quick betrayal and Gatsby's death portrays the death of the lost American dream. J. Gatsby truly reflects the American dream during the Roaring Twenties. Fitzgerald, however, demonstrates the flaw of the American dream because people primarily focus on individual prosperity without equal opportunity and justice. Americans tried everything, even illegal trading, in order to achieve the American dream. However, the American dream is no longer a desire to liberate from the societal limitations and individual success under equal opportunity. Just like how Gatsby was murdered, Fitzgerald criticized that the true meaning of the American dream in the 1920s becomes dead.
The years took all the fight out of Janie's face. For a while, she thought it was gone from her soul. No matter what Jody did, she said nothing. She had learned how to talk some and leave some. Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston was influenced by the Harlem Renaissance. This cultural movement was a turning point to African Americans at the time. The Harlem Renaissance was a time period in which African Americans felt pride and independence. Hurston used Their Eyes Were Watching God to express gender issues and discrimination that arose during this movement. African Americans had been given more opportunities. However, African American women were still mistreated. In the novel, Janie is treated like an item from her second husband, Joe. He expects her to obey his orders, and he does not want her to talk back. Janie becomes silent throughout the years. However, as viewed in her third relationship with Tea Cake, she feels free and their relationship is respectable. But Janie achieves true independence when Tea Cake dies. Zora Neale Hurston is trying to display the idea that women can gain their own identity even without the help of men. It is implied that Janie's American dream is to break free from society's downward view of women and gain individual happiness.
You're the witch.
You're the witch, Goody Proctor.
In 1692, the Salem witch trials initiated in Salem, Massachusetts. The Crucible is based on the Salem witch crisis, which was a tragedy that occurred among the Puritans. This scandalous novel involves a man named John Proctor cheating on his wife Elizabeth with Abigail. The witch crisis starts with a group of females dancing in the forest naked. A man named Reverend Paris, while looking for Betty, found these women and soon enough became suspicious of his cousin Abigail. Abigail, being paranoid by knowing the suspicions going on about her, in order to remove her suspicions, she started to accuse women in order to save her life and also to kill John Proctor's wife. This event connects with McCarthyism at the time The Crucible was published, because the book was published in 1952. McCarthyism arose in the post-World War II era / postmodern literature. U.S. Senator Joseph McCarthy started to use the Cold War and the Red Scare as an advantage to raise his reputation. He became famous for his accusations, and just like Abigail, they both took the advantage of hysteria and took their reputation to their zenith point. The Crucible was a failure of the American dream because Americans only sought for their own individual happiness and prosperity.